A social worker visited her in the hospital after she gave birth.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard has responded to the rumors of CPS, who takes care of her baby, and if the baby is real.
Ken Urker sure did get on his panel, and he told everybody loud and clear that the Petrie family, Dee Dee's family, is more than welcome to have a relationship with their daughter.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard is getting tired of all the gossip going around about her new family and especially her new baby daughter, Aurora. She uploaded a post last night to her Instagram clearing up a lot of that misinformation.
Let's talk about the bombshell claims that have everyone buzzing. Claims so shocking they're dividing the internet. While some might question the source of this information, let me tell you that I'm not just buying into the drama. I'm convinced there's some truth to this story. And by the end of this, I'll tell you exactly why I believe our source, and why you might too. Because this isn't just another rumor. It's a story that could change everything we thought we knew about Gypsy Rose Blanchard. The details are explosive, and if even half of it is true, it's a game changer. But here's the thing. The source of these claims is Ivory Rose Grows Wild. She has already stirred up controversy regarding Gypsy Rose, and I know some of you might not agree with where this information is coming from, and that's fair, but before you dismiss it outright, let's watch it together and see what she has to say.
I was told that CPS did get in contact with Miss Gypsy. So, not too good, huh? And I wouldn't know that if it wouldn't be for somebody running their mouth on that bayou. The whole thing. They went and did a whole stop by at the house, check things out, all kinds of stuff. Like, I did also find out that it was a non-cesarean birth. So she went in a couple of days, like I said, and couldn't stop the labor. So baby was born. Now, she said the due date was, January 23rd or something like that? I don't know, January 31st, something along those lines. I said back on July 30th that Krusty Krab was running up and down this bayou saying, baby born in December, yada, yada, yada. And the baby was born in December 28th.
Things just got a lot messier in the world of Gypsy Rose Blanchard, and trust me, you'll want to continue on to hear this tea. So, as many of you may already know, there's a TikTok and YouTube creator who goes by the name Ivory Rose Grows Wild. She lives in the bayou, the very same area Gypsy Rose calls home. Coincidence? Maybe not. But here's where things take a dramatic turn. CPS is reportedly involved with Gypsy Rose, and the details are jaw-dropping. Now, before we get into the why, let's address the buzz. It's unclear whether CPS involvement stems from concerned citizens filing reports, or if it's just standard protocol since Gypsy is still on parole for the shocking crime of unaliving her own mother. Either way, CPS being part of the equation raises plenty of questions, and we're breaking it all down. But hold up, because there's another layer to this drama. Ivory claims she knows about CPS's involvement because someone's been spilling all the tea. And her number one suspect? Christy Blanchard. If that name rings a bell, it's because Christy, Gypsy's stepmom, has been at the center of several controversies herself. What's wild is that Ivory isn't the only one making this claim. Katie Joy, another creator many of you might recognize and feel skeptical about, has also said Christy told her that DCFS, Department of Children and Family Services, would be present at Gypsy's baby's birth. Two different people, the same story. Could it be more than just a coincidence? And speaking of Christy, she's apparently been going around saying she's the one taking care of Gypsy's baby. Now, whether you believe that or not is up to you. But it sure adds fuel to this already blazing fire.
I can also confirm that the couple of day checkup that you have whenever you have your baby, like 3 days later, she was able to walk out with an Ozempic script. Like, goddamn, girl, you trying to get right back to normal, which just shows you how worried she was throughout her entire pregnancy about that weight gain, aka, which leads to the post that I made regarding her food intake and yada, 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 and how Krusty Krab has had to stay on her about the food she ate. Kitty Boy had to stay on her about the water she drank. So she was not really getting, she was really watching what she ate. So it just shows you that's all she cares about is how she looks on the outside.
What's even spicier is that Ivory has a track record of getting things right. Some of the claims she's made in the past have turned out to be true, which makes her version of events hard to ignore. While we're taking all of this with a grain of salt, as we should with anything online, Ivory's track record for dropping truths that later surface adds a layer of credibility to the chaos. At the end of the day, this is the internet. And, as we all know, everything should be taken with a grain of salt. But when multiple sources point in the same direction, it does make you wonder what's really going on behind the scenes. Now, before you go running to the comments to share your thoughts, and trust me, we know you've got opinions, don't forget to smash that like button because let's be real, this tea is piping hot. Drop a comment below and tell us, do you think Christy's really spilling secrets? Or is this just another wild rumor? Share this video with your fellow true crime and drama enthusiasts because you know they'll want to weigh in too. And hey, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because with Gypsy Rose, you never know when the next bombshell will drop.
Christy is out here telling people that that she thinks the baby's gonna come early in December. I just know it. Come on, y'all. That's crazy, right? Y'all remember that one? That's from July 30th. Where Krusty Krab was running her mouth saying the baby was due in December. And I posted about it on July 30th. Yeah. And look, the baby was born in December 28th.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, let's address the burning question, does she even live in the bayou? Just recently, she filmed herself in the snow, which might be proof she's still in the bayou. But let's not get sidetracked. There's something much juicier we need to dive into. The real tea lies in her ongoing battle with CPS reports and her fiery social media clapbacks. This isn't the first time Gypsy has had to defend herself against CPS allegations. Even before giving birth, she took to social media to warn potential accusers, reminding them that making a false report is a crime. And she wasn't playing around. Her posts were a mix of legal facts and unapologetic sass. For those who need a refresher, making a false CPS report is no joke. In most states, knowingly providing false information about child abuse or neglect can result in fines, jail time, or both. In Louisiana, where Gypsy claims to reside, the penalties are even steeper. Up to 5 years in prison, a $5,000 fine, or both. And if that's not enough, the accuser could also face a civil lawsuit for defamation or emotional distress. But Gypsy wasn't done. She followed up with another post specifically calling out Louisiana's laws, highlighting that making a false CPS report there could result in imprisonment for up to 5 years, a fine of up to $5,000, or both. And here's the kicker. If someone files a false report, the district attorney will review all the evidence, and if proven, the accuser could face serious repercussions, including civil lawsuits for defamation, emotional distress, or malicious persecution. Gypsy's message was loud and clear. Don't come for her unless you're ready to deal with the law. Clearly, she's not just sitting back and letting the rumors fly. She's ready to fight back.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard has responded to the rumors of CPS, who takes care of her baby, and if the baby is real. This is what she posted to her story. False rumors of the week. Number 1, no, CPS is not involved. Our baby is very safe and healthy. Number 2, I am not on any weight loss medication. I just look damn good for postpartum. Hate me because you ain't me. Number 3, no, Christy does not take care of my child for me. I do everything, and I'm rocking it as a mom. Number 4, no, the baby in the picture with Ken and I after birth is not a doll or fake baby. If anyone actually believes this BS, then your brain has been rotted by misinformation and clickbait with bias and hate-driven content. God gave you a brain, use it.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard's dream of starting a family with her boyfriend Ken is hitting a legal wall that even her most devoted followers didn't see coming. Fresh out of prison and already facing the harsh realities of life on parole, Gypsy's hopes of motherhood are being overshadowed by Louisiana's strict child custody laws that could strip her of any rights to her unborn child the moment they're born. But here's the twist. It's not just the state she has to worry about. Family members could step in at any moment to file an emergency petition to remove the baby from her care. Is this the harsh reality Gypsy signed up for? Or is she in for a rude awakening? Some believe Katie Joy's recent reports about Gypsy's situation added fuel to the fire, potentially prompting calls to CPS. Gypsy's past, including her conviction for a violent crime, has put her under intense scrutiny, especially with a baby on the way. According to Louisiana laws, things aren't looking great for her. Here's where it gets even more intense. Katie Joy shared details that shake up Gypsy's plans for a picture-perfect family with her husband, Ken. Under Louisiana's strict child custody and protection laws, Gypsy's conviction automatically puts her parental rights at risk. A source close to the situation revealed that DCFS, Department of Children and Family Services in Louisiana, takes no chances when it comes to violent offenders. It's even been reported that DCFS often shows up at the hospital when individuals with certain convictions give birth.
Gypsy Rose being on parole doesn't necessarily mean that CPS is going to be automatically involved. However, all it would take is one phone call from a mandated reporter. Think the hospital or the parole officer, and it could be something as simple as something she said. Anything that would be concerning. And I'm sure mandated reporters would be hyper vigilant of Gypsy Rose. And we wouldn't be privy to this information as it's not public.
In Gypsy's case, her doctor is a mandated reporter and legally obligated to flag her baby as being at risk. Add her history of malingering, homicide, and fraud to the mix, and the outlook dims even further. Legal experts claim that Louisiana courts frequently strip convicted offenders of their parental rights, and Gypsy's crime against a family member makes her case even more complicated. But the legal hurdles don't stop there. Even if Ken passes a DCFS investigation, the couple faces an uphill battle. Louisiana law allows for the automatic termination of parental rights in cases like Gypsy's, and if the two were to split, a judge could strip her of any custody claims entirely. And here's the kicker. Gypsy's own family could file an emergency petition to remove the child from her care. Aunts, uncles, or even siblings could step in, leaving Gypsy with no legal footing to fight back. As Gypsy and Ken brace for the arrival of their child, one thing is clear. The fantasy of a happy family is colliding with the cold, hard reality of her past. Is this the life Gypsy envisioned when she planned her escape from her mother's abuse, or is she facing a new kind of prison, one built by the legal system and her own choices? Only time will tell, but for now, the odds are not in her favor.
Ken Urker sure did get on his panel, and he told everybody loud and clear that the Petrie family, Dee Dee's family, is more than welcome to have a relationship with their daughter. Now, do I believe this? I think he was speaking out of his ass, but that's just my opinion. But because you said that, Ken, I really hope you're willing to honor it, because that family should be allowed to have access to that child, to have a relationship with blood, to have a relationship with their dead sister's granddaughter. I'm just saying, I really hope he honors what he says. Since he says he has no reason to lie, I hope it's all honored.
Things are heating up on TikTok after Creator Reality TV, with Ray put the spotlight on a post from Katie Joy about Gypsy Rose. In the comments, Gypsy herself clapped back, stating she had confirmed with her attorney that the claims were inaccurate. According to her, they cannot take my child away without cause, even as a felon. She went on to challenge Katie Joy's post, saying it was outright false, and doubled down that DCFS involvement had been confirmed through Christy. And before we wrap up, can we talk about Christy? Gypsy seems to think she's the one throwing her under the bus by spilling private details to the public. It's giving betrayal vibes, but I'll leave that for you to decide. Meanwhile, the court of public opinion is in full session. Social media is flooded with comments debating whether Gypsy, given her history, should be allowed to raise a child. How can someone who deceived her own mother be trusted with a baby? One critic wrote. Others pointed out that Gypsy is still on parole, raising questions about her legal standing as a parent. And just when you thought it couldn't get messier, there's Christy, Gypsy's supposed confidant, who's being accused of spilling her private business to the world. Is this a case of betrayal, or is there more to the story? What do you think of all this drama? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned for more updates, because something tells me this story is far from over.
I've made a decision on something that I've been thinking about, and I want to share it with y'all. So a lot of people have been saying you need to hire a lawyer. Yeah, I agree. It's getting to where now I feel like the police department is doing shit on behalf of her. I have filed multiple police reports. I talked to the parole supervisor in person. I've talked to the assistant DA. I mean, like, production is involved in this shit. This was all why I said that they're turning the whole season around on content creators. Y'all remember? Yeah, that's where that came from, was for what was happening with me. But a lot of people, saying you need to hire a lawyer. Well, yeah, I agree. But let's be honest, money, it's Christmas time. I don't have any shame in saying if I hire a lawyer and I mean, I work 2 jobs. My husband is a disabled veteran. We have 3 kids. It's hard as it is. It's hard as it is. So regarding the situation that I'm in, I decided to make a GoFundMe to help me hire a lawyer. A good lawyer here is the retainer's $10,000.
Ivory Rose is at the center of a controversy that has people buzzing. And let's be real, the drama is only getting juicier. The whole situation started with a request for $20,000 that had fans immediately raising eyebrows. But when Ivory claimed her husband was parked down the street, things got even murkier. Seriously, if you're taking someone somewhere, are you really parking down the street? That's what's got people questioning whether there's more to the story than she's letting on. Some are even wondering if there's a bigger secret at play. And don't get me started on the whole prove it situation. Everyone's been asking for cop cam footage, receipts, anything to show what really happened. But instead of providing any real evidence, Ivory quickly took down her post and promised that everything would be refunded. But by then, it was too late. People were already calling fraud, accusing her of trying to scam them for holiday cash. Then there's Gypsy, who's somehow come out looking a bit more reasonable in all of this. Believe it or not, in this situation, Gypsy might actually be in the right. She didn't let Ivory's TikTok antics slide and called out what seemed to be an inappropriate stunt. But that's the thing. The whole mess could have been avoided if Ivory had just stuck to her content. Simple as that. At the end of the day, it seems like a case of don't start something you can't finish. Yes, Ivory might be dealing with backlash now, but honestly, this entire situation could have been handled better from the start. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think Ivory went too far, or was everyone just looking for drama? Most of Ivory's TikTok page revolves around Gypsy Rose, alongside occasional tarot card readings. However, her frequent declarations about being the ultimate insider have raised eyebrows, especially since other creators who weigh in on these topics often provide solid receipts. For many, her constant reminders that she's from the Da Bayou simply aren't enough to substantiate her statements. This isn't about hate or personal attacks. It's about questioning credibility. In an age where viewers expect proof, Ivory's lack of tangible evidence has left people wondering if her claims are more about clout than fact. As her feud with Christy and Gypsy continues, the question remains, can she back up her words, or will her credibility sink faster than quicksand in the bayou? Ivory Rose isn't just sipping the tea, she's pouring it all over the internet. After Christy brushed her off with a dismissive, "You're not from here, you don't know anything," Ivory decided to take the feud to another level. Determined to prove her credibility, she drove by the Blanchard family home. While she didn't share the address, everyone, including Christy, knew exactly what she was hinting at. But that wasn't enough for Ivory. Fueled by Christy's constant taunts and her earlier claim that no one has the guts to show up, Ivory decided to double down. She went public, calling out both Christy and Gypsy Rose for a confrontation in a McDonald's parking lot. And yes, this all happened while Gypsy was pregnant. The drama doesn't just expose the feud, but highlights how Christy knows how to push people's buttons. By exploiting the animosity toward Gypsy Rose and people's desperation for viral content, she's created a recipe for chaos. First off, calling out a pregnant woman for a fight? That's crossing the line. Bree and Gypsy, along with a cousin of Gypsy's, say they were ready to handle things with a little extra protection after Ivory allegedly drove by their house and challenged Gypsy to a fight. I mean, let's be real. If you're driving by someone's house and throwing hands at a pregnant woman, you've already put yourself in dangerous territory. Over what, though? A belief that she doesn't live nearby, or because she's being baited? Either way, it's uncalled for. The cousin didn't exactly threaten violence, but let's not forget that "I'll bring it" isn't exactly a friendly warning. Now, Ivory Rose takes to social media, crying about how she was threatened and fearing for her life. She even went after other content creators, accusing them of ignoring her story. Why drive past this girl's house? Why provoke a fight? These are grown women. And at the end of the day, they're all making questionable choices. Things escalate even more when Bree and Gypsy decide to take a little drive-by action of their own. Ivory gets online again, sobbing about how they showed up at her job this time. She claims she even called the parole office, begging for help because no one seemed to care about her side. After all that drama, guess who showed up at Dee's book signing? Yes, she did. And trust, it's not what anyone expected. She claims she's there to support Dee, but what does she do? Go live, drop a moment of silence for Dee, and just stands there. No words, no action, just watching across the street, or maybe on the same side of the street. It's one of those, what's going on here? Moments. Now, let's pause and think about Gypsy for a sec. I'm not saying I'm Team Gypsy, trust me, I'm not. But let's be real for a moment. This girl, yeah, she drove past Gypsy's house, called her out for a fight, but now claims she's terrified of her. And there she is, standing outside in front of everyone. It's like, make it make sense, right? Fast forward to the next day, things take an unexpected turn. She claims she got pulled over for speeding. Cops allegedly throw her husband out of the car, treating them like trash. And who does she blame for all of this? Krist and Gypsy, of course. Suddenly, she's convinced it's some kind of setup. Maybe from Lifetime. Who knows? Because, of course, this drama is so wild it could be a movie, right? So what does she do next? Starts a GoFundMe for a whopping $20,000. Yep, she's asking for a lawyer. People are in shock, of course, demanding receipts. But instead of clearing things up, what does she do? She flips out, insists it's not about her husband, but that he was the one they were after. The story just keeps twisting. And then in true, "I don't want you to know my business, but I need your money" style, she tells everyone it's none of their business. But don't forget, she's still asking for $20,000. Classic move, right? And as if that wasn't enough, she casually drops that people have told her to get a lawyer before, for all the mess she's started. No case, no solid proof, but somehow the audacity to demand cash is sparking major drama. Drop your comments below, make sure to like, and hit that subscribe button for more tea on the latest celebrity drama. Catch you later, guys!